Right, and we're live. Viewer, how's it going, man? How you doing? Gandhi. Unknown, how's your aviation license coming? Pilot's license? Pilot's license. um Going good in Singapore right now? Oh shit, nice, cool. Fun stuff. My mom really wants to go visit Singapore. I honestly don't understand the. Well, we just started. Yeah, give it a couple minutes. Plus, I don't know. I don't know if it fixed it. Yeah, it's so weird. The announcement is broken. It's not posting it on Discord anymore. It's so fucking cringe. Why is Pinkcore down? Gainer. Eight. Okay, so that's something. Pushkar, how's it going? Sid, how's it going? Pinkcore's actually hibernating. It's crazy. Ray, how's it going? Nix, how's it going? Hey guys. Yeah, Pinkcore is fucking broken. I don't know what it is. I will have Romero take a look at it because I don't even know where to begin to fucking. Okay. Right, I think there might have been a buffer there for a second. Uh, hmm. Final obviously doesn't work because I is in the wrong place, but it's not a bad. Shit. Okamine, how's it going, man? How you doing? E-N-I. Manic. Nice. Hello, how's it going, man? Chris, how's it going, guys? Currently reading RTOC. How are you liking it? Mid. Yeah, you can't like anything without someone immediately shitting on it. Oh, I'm sorry. You like the greatest piece of literature ever written? You just have shit taste, buddy boy. Get fucked. Oh, you're reading Lord of the Mysteries? I heard it's quite derivative, actually. You just have shit taste. Fuck me, I guess. I didn't realize that. Was trying to defend his love. It's a very basic vanilla story, but guess what? It has hype fight scenes, so you can suck my dick, okay? Yes, I enjoy watching brain rot occasionally. I said it. What? I'm not trying to defend it as the most fucking complex piece of literature ever written. What are we talking about? Sanguine Goat? Emlyn? What are you talking about? Eating something you didn't read sometimes is fun. Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you like One Piece? I'm not gonna lie. If I was Luffy, I would have found the One Piece by episode 100. He's just slacking off, in my opinion. That's what I say. And I'm like, okay, what am I supposed to do with this criticism? The moon? Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of Emlyn. I think he's a fucking. I think he's a bum, bro. Also, we'll be live in the afternoon. If you guys are up, we'll just be playing some games. So I'll stream it. Our playthrough of The Forest, I believe, is the game that we're playing. It's a horror game. So, what is your opinion about COI and the read so far? Still can't believe the One Piece gave us the drums of liberation. Hollow, what are you doing to me? Opinion. Okay, Okamin, I really enjoyed the Volume 1. Volume 2 is kind of a snooze fest, though. Like, I'm making my way through it, but bro, Volume 2 is just. I'm having a fucking slog my way through it. A tube, a pipe, a hose, a straw. In essence, the same thing. Hollow cylinders. Cute. Web, desktop, mobile, web app versions of the same thing. It picks up on 220. Gotta keep. Okay, yes, I will keep fighting. Don't worry. What are we on right now? Okay, so you're saying 60 more chapters, then it kind of picks up. Okay. Mole. Make a mountain out of. Oh, I don't know that. Yeah, just be honest. After reading Lord of the Mysteries, COI feels like a downgrade. Well, that's great. Love it. Gram. Gram. A volt. Units of measurement. Units of measurement. A gram. A volt. Bar? Kami, how's it going, man? Am I the only one that didn't like Volume 3? Pretty bad compared to Volume 1 and 2. I found the opposite, Hollow. I'm not gonna lie. I liked Volume 3 more than 2. I found 2 was the low point for me. in Lord of the Mysteries. I liked 1 a lot. 2 was worse than 1, but a lot better than 2 of COI so far. Holy fuck. Volume 3 because I really loved Gehrman, so I enjoyed it a lot. Here in this COI slander in Volume 2. But I thought everyone dislikes it. But I thought it was like everyone disliked Volume 2. Am I wrong on this? Mole bar of soap. Hollow is talking about Lord of the Mysteries, Sid. He's still reading Lord of the Mysteries. Dip. Split. Volume 2 is Peak. Volume 2 of... Are you talking about COI or Lord of the Mysteries? I'm so confused. Why are we talking about 2 books at the same time? Fuck is wrong with you people? God damn it. Put in more especially characterization. That's gotta be Lord of the Mysteries. I hate how Volume 3 did... how Klein did my goat Blazing Danitz dirty. Blazing Danitz is goated. I agree. Okay, this is so bad. 1 away. Oh, wait. I got a jet. I got a dip. I got a split. I got a bolt? Should be bolt. Hold on. You're talking about COI. Nah, I'm not a huge fan of it. 1 more. Is this the right one? I got a jet, I got a dip, I got a split, I got a something. Oh, I gotta book it. I gotta book it. Okay, we got it. Units of measure. Okay, I was... Bar? Mole? Oh, let's go. Okay. Oh, we did this yesterday. Fucking cringe. COI Volume 2 is fine, but there's a few slow chapters. You will change your opinion. Maybe, again, it might change. I, like, Zaza, how's it going? MX, how's it going, guys? Blazing is cool, but the apothecary let my boy go. He's not on the Roselle files. I don't give a shit about the apothecary. I'm not gonna lie to you. What time is it today? 1 p.m. Oh, slander video. I see. Slander video. Okay. We will. Okay, send me the link, Zaza, on Discord. I'll pull it up after this. Personally, Volume 2 of COI is the weakest of the first. Okay. See, I have such conflicting opinions. Everyone says, like, some people say it picks up. Some people say, like, yeah, it's really bad, but you just gotta suffer through it and then it gets good. Like, I don't know what to believe. I don't believe any of you. You're all fucking liars. Why would I do that? He's gonna take... I'm an idiot. But then if I take heat... Idiot. Let's see how Weasley is at this game. It's bad. Okay, it's bad. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's getting really bad. We haven't won a game in a while. We gotta start clutching up here, you know. Here to put pressure on this bitch. I go back here, even though I'm doing it. Go up here. Because he see it. Back. I go here. He goes here. I take. He takes my queen. No go. Hmm. Question. Do that. Sucks with it, but I got it. Enjoy your PBJ. Oh, peanut butter jelly time. I see. We're winning this, okay, boys? We're winning this. Trust. I can do this. I cannot. I'm gonna fuck this up. What is even the fucking point? What is even the fucking point? Wait, what? Is it actually? Either he can go back or he can take. You wanted me to run up here so that... I don't know. Something. Oh, Zaza said it's PB. Oh, what time is it? Oh, I see. I clock what you mean. Protects this, protects this. Here. 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 Who was telling me to resign? Get fucked, losers. How do we win this bitch? Get fucked. No faith. No problem. No fucking faith. We don't lose this. We clutch up when time needs. Did he send the video? Oh, you did. Thank you. I gave him rook odds, okay, and he still lost. That's not on me, okay? I gave him odds. I gave him great odds. Dude, actually, he becomes good. I'm so yapping. Oh, the goat. Yeah, you could talk to him about everything. The goat. The whole dude, actually, this is so whack. I remember like fucking April, maybe even up until like June of last year, June or July of last year, everyone would be like, bro, why are you so obsessed? Like, you know, the fucking true creator is an evil god. No one wants to be part of the Aurora Order. You guys are fucking horrible people. And no, apparently everyone's like, oh, the goat, hold on, let him cook. This is so whack. How does that even happen? I don't get this one. I'm not gonna lie to you. I haven't talked to Mrs. A very much, so I have no idea. Are you doing something? Dude, actually, she runs the poetry part of the server. DSV minus the hair. Dude, our French Chad, true. 40 different fucking factions immediately vying for their attention. Like, no, okay, listen to me. You like poetry? No? You like the Aurora Order? Okay, we'll get you on that side. Don't you worry. Like, what the fuck, dude? Motherfucking mentions. Yeah, she could solve everything. Actually, dude, she has all the answers all the time. The goat. Wait, Sunny's wife is Mrs. A, is that right? I'm from... It's not about music. The commie slander. After he lost his guard. Dude, actually, yeah, every fucking 10 minutes. Because he'll utter some bullshit and Romero will be like, a yoink. We should all watch Tetro? I don't know. The go. Dude, actually, my guy came in like Darth Vader, like, I have arrived. I was in my incubation pod for the past 2 months, and you have run amok in this galaxy, but it is time to clean up. He just took the whole fucking edit. I love it. He just took this whole edit off of someone. Actually, Get Fucked started like 7 months later. I don't know. I don't celebrate New Year's, but yes. Very good, Zaza. Very good. Get my coin. Okay, maybe this needs to be the official music of our chess games, because like I get like a huge stat boost when this is playing. What chapter are we in? 163. I think I finished it. Oh, it's Gwent music from Witcher 3. I think. Let me just get you the actual name. There you go. Aw, thanks, Unknown. I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate you all being here. $164. Intelligence. Next time should I just upload random quotes of everyone from the server? Don't. I mean, you can, just be careful, because a lot of stuff has been said on the server, man. A lot of really bad stuff. From everybody. Oh, fuck you in that case, Unknown. Jesus Christ, so mean. Sol de Ball Brie, the cafe on the second floor. Lumen strolled over to Baron Brignace with an air of nonchalance. Oh, he was summoned by Aaron Brignace. Yeah, that is for sure happening, Zaza. I've said a lot of bad things. Okay, there was a certain context to them, but it doesn't help very much. It helps just like a very teeny amount. Okay, we're gonna listen to this for the next little bit. Okay, I'm really in the mood. Tin up, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 chapters or something. We'll try to get to like maybe 170, might go a little bit more. Depends. If we're having a good time, we might go a little bit longer. I don't know. Do you know that you were part of... I don't know what Depravity Island is. I don't want to know either. Nope, I'm not interested. Not only did he lack any sense of deference or humility, but he also showed a blatant disregard for basic politeness, as if they were equals. Louis, standing discreetly behind the Baron, shook his head. He had encountered many such individuals before, and their fate had always been the same. Either handed over to the police by the mob, or gravely wounded in a violent gunfight, losing their capabilities. They had no choice but to become subservient, like dogs wagging their tails. Some met their demise due to various reasons, their bodies cast into the dark recesses of the underground world or packed into wooden barrels filled with stones and thrown into the depths of the river. "Good evening, Baron," Lumion greeted. The Baron betrayed no signs of anger on his face and took a puff of his cigar, or of his mahogany-colored pipe, rather. I don't know, mob boss in my mind just immediately goes to cigar. "Where have you been this afternoon?" "Underground," Lumion responded without any elaboration. If Little Minx Jenna and Red Boots Franca concealed the fact that he had dispatched the pervert and saved the former, his response would have been a display of utmost candor. The Baron appeared momentarily taken aback, but refrained from probing, and said, "I have a task for you. I hold great expectations for you. I believe you can become a crucial member of our mob, entrusted with significant matters. But my favorable opinion alone is insufficient. You must demonstrate sufficient strength that surpasses most and make contributions that garner their attention." "A carrot dangling in front of a donkey," Lumion scoffed. Inwardly, outwardly, he narrowed his eyes. "And what might this be? The plot thickens!" The Baron set aside his mahogany pipe, took a sip of his coffee, and adopted a soothing tone. "Assault any prominent member of the Poison Spur mob. It would be best if you inflict several injuries. Killing them would also work." Lumion chuckled. "Just 2 days ago you cautioned me against causing a commotion and provoking an all-out conflict. Aren't you concerned that such things might transpire, ultimately leading you to becoming a target of the police?" Although he had intended to lie in wait for the Poison Spur's Hammer 8, Lumion refused to be treated as a fool by the Baron. "You are far more intelligent than those who surround me. Over the past few days I've been carefully observing the Poison Spur mob's reaction, and it seems they have no immediate plans of revenge against you." "What does that imply?" "That they are terrified of us," Lumion replied. It was, of course, a jest. If the Poison Spur mob feared the Savoy mob, they never would have grown to become the second largest mob. The Baron shook his head. "In the past, they would have undoubtedly retaliated, exacting a higher toll than just medical expenses from us. Moreover..." Oh, so this means they're on the cusp of something and they can't afford attention right now, so they'll just... like, whatever's happening, they're like, "Listen, like, it sucks, but like, we can't retaliate right now because it's gonna get more eyes on us and whatever we're trying to do is gonna get fucked up." Okay. But he's trying to provoke it out of them. Like, hey, either we beat the shit out of them and we weaken them, or we do something, they retaliate, and we can figure out what the fuck these guys are up to. Either way, win-win for us. Moreover, after Margot's demise, they merely put on a show on the surface. In reality, they took no action that would attract the police's attention. These recurring anomalies lead me to believe that they are preparing for something significant, something very important. That is why they must be restrained. I can't be certain whether their forthcoming actions will impact our mob, but we cannot idly wait. "At least you're astute," Lumion begrudgingly commended the Baron inwardly. "Are you suggesting I eliminate their key members and observe their reactions? If they endure it without retaliation, it is a grave problem. We would need to instigate a full-blown conflict and compel them to expose the issue, wouldn't we?" "I enjoy conversing with clever individuals," the Baron chuckled. "Are you willing to undertake the task?" Lumion simply chuckled. "I require information on the significant members of the mob, names, appearances, capabilities, distinguishing traits, and whether they have immediate family or spouses." Louis, who stood behind the Baron, was taken aback. Why is he asking about the family members? Is he planning to use them? Among the mobs of Trier, there was an unspoken rule that everyone abided by, unless there was an exceptional circumstance. Never target a family member who isn't a part of the mob. Most everyone had parents, spouses, and children. If they were to abandon all moral boundaries and kill without hesitation, no one would be spared. Secondly, dealing with the families of low-ranking mobsters held no value. However, at the Baron's level, his family remained confidential, known only to a select few. Thirdly, those who had a certain status within the mob could be deemed ruthless. Threatening them with their families would only ignite their fury. I'm telling you, Unknown, the music is so good. I don't know if you've ever played Witcher 3, but like, you're playing Gwent. This music only comes on when, yes, I did, Zaza. This music only comes on when you're getting your ass beat by like another opponent playing Gwent, and you're like losing and you're about to burst into tears because you're about to lose all of your money because you bet everything on this. And then this music starts playing and you're like, hold on, I just caught my second win. I see the path to victory. Hold on, let me cook. Thus, it was only in the fourth, the annihilation of a family would inevitably make headlines, angering the higher-ups at the police and triggering a crackdown. Thus, it was only in the process of eliminating a faction that they would confront the family members of the enemy leaders. What was Ciel's intention about inquiring about the families? The Baron looked at Lumion. The boss of the Poison Spur mob is Roger, known as the Black Scorpion. He lives at 126 Avenue de Marche. I'm uncertain if he has a wife or family. Even if he does, they're not in the market district, and they might not even be in Trier. Luvia, no worries, man. Appreciate you popping by. Gonna do any games? Yeah, Zaza, we're gonna do. We're starting a horror game tonight, so I'll stream our playthrough. The Baron seized the opportunity to caution Lumion about the formidable strength of Black Scorpion Roger. It was wise to avoid any designs against him, for death would be the only outcome. The forest, I believe? Sinister spells, a Beyonder focused on spell casting? Considering Roger's ability to subdue Margot, he must be at least a sequence 7. He might even possess a mystical artifact or Beyonder weapon. If Beyonders of this caliber lack robust bodies or special life-preserving abilities, they might resort to traps, close-range assassination, and other methods. If their bodies aren't weak and they excel in close combat, or they possess a substitution spell like Leia's paper figurine, play Alien Isolation? I mean, maybe we can play that later. I'll have hardly any chance of victory unless I employ the Luck Enhancement spell to prearrange his misfortune and make him sufficiently unlucky. Lumion's thoughts raced like lightning, fleeting as they disappeared. What about the others, he asked. The Poison Spur mob once had 4 powerful, significant members who were all slightly inferior to us. However, after Margot's demise, his replacement Wilson is quite feeble. Their overall strength is greatly diminished. Roger's deputy, Baldy Harmon, is one of them. Initially, he and Roger arrived at the market district, establishing the Salle de Greasemail, and gradually recruiting a group of individuals to form the mob. Highly skilled in combat, on par with Margot. Highly skilled in combat, on par with Margot? Bro, we beat Margot's ass. What would we say? So we would probably say, like, because Klein is basically 2 sequence 8s, he might be nearly at the level of a sequence 7. Would that be fair? Like, he might be, like, on, depending on obviously what type of sequence 7 and what type of combat he's in, his strength would approximate a sequence 7. Would that be a fair estimation? He's like sleepless at midnight with a half sequence boost, I guess. Okay, so half a sequence 7. For instance, he can withstand a blade and suffer only minor injuries. At times, he exhibits sudden bursts of violence as if the influence of under some drug, and he can instill fear in others. Oh, and he wields a knife coated with poison. He's exceedingly cruel, and doesn't have a family or a mistress, but he has taken a keen interest in women, often dallying with street girls. His usual residence is in Roger's house. When he seeks the company of a woman, though, he opts for a clean motel or a hotel. Lumion listened and formed a plan. There's a trap for Harmon. Regardless of how Harmon acquires such formidable defenses that result in only minor injuries after being slashed, it suggests a probability that he's willing to trade injuries for victory, relying on his strength. If that's the case, I can provide him an opportunity, but Fallen Mercury will be the one to inflict those minor injuries on him. Even minor wounds bleed. The Baron then continued, most of the dancers under the Poison Spur mob are under the supervision of Castina from Faina Potter. She was abducted to Trier and later became Roger's mistress. Short-legged Candlestick was her nickname when she worked as a dancer, owing to her small stature. Castina doesn't engage in fights, but she exhibits remarkable combat skills. She's cold and merciless when dealing with disobedient dancers. Perhaps she's forgotten all that she had to endure. She resides at 19 Rue de Rossignol. We're unsure of which specific room or floor, but she often visits Roger's home. What right do you have to speak of her like that? Why don't we discuss the person who became a singer at Salle de Balbry after her father was forced to die due to a debt? Lumion never believed that monsters truly had any kind of consciousness. He's close but missing that qualitative change? Oh yeah, I guess 7 is... Fuck. Sorry, I almost spilled my Sprite. That would have been bad. Right on top of the PC. I'm gonna move this shit over here. If I drop this on top of the PC, we're not streaming for fucking months until I can save up the money to buy a new one. Hammer was originally a member of the mob. He possessed courage, intellect, and a sturdy physique. I held him in a high regard and planned to recommend him to the boss. However, he betrayed us and joined the Poison Spur mob. He swiftly acquired Beyonder powers. I suspect he consumed a potion from the warrior pathway and has already reached sequence 8. His towering height and his conduct during conflicts leads me to this deduction. Hammer describes his fists, which possess a hardness and force of iron hammers. He usually fights unarmed, but is adept with a revolver and a dirk. He lives at 25 Rue de Pave, adjacent to La Marche de Courtier the Gentleman. Pugilist? Will Beyonder manifest upon his demise, Lumion thought? I also require their approximate travel patterns. Additionally, provide me with a revolver, ample supply of bullets, and a portable weapon. A dirk, dagger, bayonet, or axe will suffice. Bayonet? No problem. I'll have Louis deliver them to you tomorrow morning, the bear nodded. After observing CL leave, Louis lowered his voice. Baron, are we truly going to let him confront the leaders of the mob? Didn't you hear my explanation? I didn't deceive him. But the leaders of the Poison Spur mob aren't easily dealt with. Whether he struggles and requires our aid and protection, or if he fails and dies, we can crush his ignorance either way. He's in for a really bad awakening. Those guys all are like, if they're a sequence 8, they're like dead immediately. If they're a sequence 7, it gets tricky. But I think the only one they mentioned was a 7 was Roger, no? Maybe Roger's first mate or whatever is also. I think Roger, I think like Pirate King Roger, so I go to first mate Silver's Rayleigh. So that's why I'm saying first mate, but like, you know what I mean. Who the fuck is Jenna? I like Sprite. I don't drink it very often, but occasionally it's nice. Almost got to... Oh, thank you. Louis exclaimed, what if CL fails and gets done in by the mob? When has our mob ever kept all its members? The Baron chuckled. It keeps lagging a bit? Hold on. Okay, I can fix that. Give me a second. Yeah, it seems to be very slight, like, in the, I don't know. 45 minutes or so we've been live. We've dropped about 700 frames or so. 700 is like a combined second of lag, but it shouldn't happen anymore. Well, no, I guess 700 would be like 10 seconds of lag, sorry. What the fuck is that? Eh? What the fuck is that, MX? What did you just say? Dudler. Diddler? Apparently it is a soft drink in Austria. I guess that makes you Austrian, MX? On the way back to the motel, Lumion found himself in a good mood. Initially, he had intended to apprehend a significant member of the Poison Spur mob, probing into their source of power and their affiliation with the wicked deity Madame Polly worshipped. But now, the Savoy mob had assigned him a similar task. This way, not only would he swiftly gain detailed information about multiple targets, saving time, but he could also utilize the mob's resources, such as weaponry, manpower, and connections. A moment ago, Lumion contemplated requesting explosives, mulling over the possibility of setting a trap to blow up one of the leaders, but decided against it. He felt it was too brazen and would attract too much attention. Of course, he could employ the summoning dance and a wall of spirituality to allow the deceased spirit to cling to him and enhance the memories that left the deepest imprints, if he obliterated the target entirely. But this method was unpredictable. Who knew if those individuals' minds would be deranged as the previous pervert? Moreover, the summoning dance would only amplify single memory. If the luck wasn't on his side, it would take a significant amount of time to find any useful information. Initially, Lumion planned to deal with Hammer, but upon hearing the Baron's description, he considered Baldy as a viable candidate. Compared to Hammer, Harmon had a notable weakness. His powers granted him exceptional body resilience. On numerous occasions, he only sustained minor injuries after being slashed with a knife. Lumion recalled Aurora's words, those skilled at swimming are prone to drowning. In Harmon's case, one could interpret it as those adept at blocking weapons with their bodies are susceptible to dying to weapons. Furthermore, in comparison to Hammer, who frequently traveled with a large entourage and resided within the Poison Spur mob settlement, Harmon ventured out alone occasionally, seeking street girls and dancers. Consequently, it proved to be a simpler target for assassination. Moreover, he was closer to the core power of the mob and held more secrets. But a conundrum arose. If Lumion was to set a trap and employ Fallen Mercury to deal with Harmon, capturing him alive would be impossible. If Lumion could overpower Harmon after stabbing him and dragging him to a secluded corner, why bother stabbing him? If he couldn't, his only recourse would be to stab the enemy and flee. Alternatively, after his escape, he could await the intervention of the Mosuri ghost to assist in the target's demise. Whether this would implicate the target's family wasn't his concern. But the pursuit of Harmon and Hammer presented their respective pros and cons. Lumion was not yet able to reach a decision. He intended to contemplate his target selection after receiving more detailed information, weapons, and ammunition from the Baron. "What's all this?" Lumion inquired as he traversed the lobby. Weren't these the same elderly folk peddling counterfeits at the street? Why are they bringing in such a sizable bag? Ruhr ceased pulling at the cloth bag, wiping the sweat from his forehead, and smiled. Don't you know, Monsieur Ciel? We moonlight as scavengers by night. We scavenge discarded items that may hold value. Informed by Charlie's advertisement, the couple was aware of Ciel's newfound leadership role in the mob. Consequently, he saw no issue with Ciel seeking answers from them. From his perspective, as the guardian of the motel, Ciel needed to stay informed of the establishment. Juggling two occupations, one of which involves deception, it certainly reeks of all forms of rubbish. Lumion pinched his nose and muttered. Do you hoard all this trash in your room? He asked. Indeed, we visit the waste disposal every few days. People drop off a lot of things. We scavengers are filthy, and without us, Trier would be overwhelmed by foul odors. Every nook and cranny would be brimming with refuse. In Trier, scavengers served as supplementary cleaners. No wonder there's a stench in the room. No wonder you perpetually reek. You're not young anymore. Why do you toil so diligently for food? It is precisely that because we are old that we must labor so. We arrived in Trier when we were young and took up a lot of occupations. We had a child, but he did not live to adulthood. The wages we received merely sustained our survival, and our health began to decline and our strength waned. Fear gripped us, uncertain of what the future held. But if we grow too old to engage in our usual work, what do we do? Deplete our meager savings within months and rely on charitable acts of the church to eke out a meager existence? I do not wish for such a fate. Intis is indeed rough. There is no protection for hard-working individuals in their twilight years. Lumiere was reminded of something Aurore had once uttered. Aurore continued, Thankfully, our appetites have diminished with age. We don't eat or sleep much. That leaves us with plenty of time to earn money. We needn't worry about anything else. We can save most of what we earn. In the coming years, we should be able to enjoy a few good years simply by relying on our savings. Truth be told, compared to most people, we're pretty fortunate. Most don't even make it to our age. Nightwalker, how's it going? Once we've saved enough, we'll return to Ormir and purchase a plot of land to cultivate grapes. If we lack the strength, we can hire assistants. We don't have a lot of expenses anyway. Ormir stood as the provincial capital of the Champagne province, renowned as the foremost hub of wine production. Silently, Lumion nodded as he observed the elderly couple laboriously hauling the trash up. After a brief respite, he put on some simple makeup and changed his attire, and made his way to Saul the grease mill. Since Hammer was one of his targets, he needed to observe him. It was in the late hours of the night, and the grease mill buzzed with activity. Amidst the music, men and women gyrated on the dance floor. I don't know why, I always find that that word used so funny. Like, I don't know. Gyrate. Before long, he spotted little minx Jenna appearing on the raised wooden platform in front of him. She wore a similar outfit to the one she had donned in the afternoon. This time, she sported a mole on the bridge of her nose, signifying audacity. Impressive mental strength she possesses. Despite the events of the afternoon, she's back at work. In his opinion, since Jenna was Franca's lover, there was no need for her to be so committed. The drumbeats halted and all eyes turned to Jenna, panting. Jenna began with a high-pitched tone. Ernest, stay away from my wife and pipe. Laughter erupted from the crowd as if a collective realization had been had. In sync, the cheering and singing began once again. As Jenna sang, she executed high kicks, shifting her position and winking at the audience. During the display, her gaze briefly crossed with Lumion, momentarily stunned before returning. Once she finished her song, the drum beats resumed. Jenna wasted no time resting, leaping onto the dance floor and navigating through the sudden eruption of cheers, whistles. She suddenly approached Lumion and shouted, Handsome, come dance. Handsome lion, come dance. In Intes, the lion was often used to describe alluring men. Lumion sensed that Jenna had something important to share, so he set aside his beer and joined her on the dance floor. Just as they were about to embrace, Jenna threw herself into Lumion's arms and whispered, "You're quite the talented dancer. By the way, I found out who that pervert was. His name is Hedzi. He used to live in room 504 at Auberge de Côte d'Or." 504? Charlie's room? The occupant of room 504 who put up Susanna's portrait? Oh, shit. Oh, we could have probably gotten this earlier. Oh, I could have probably gotten that earlier. That makes so much sense. I just would have thought that the previous owner died to Susanna somehow. Yes, MX. Me? Hmm? Are you sure? Lumion had always believed that the tenant, like Charlie, had been enchanted by Susanna in his dreams and his vitality had been drained until he died. Monsieur Ives had secretly transported his lifeless body to a secluded spot in Trier. Little did he know that the tenant would transform into a pervert with powers. Lumion was convinced that Hedzi's newfound abilities stemmed from a boon granted due to the absence of characteristic after death. In essence, not long after Susanna's portrait was plastered, something extraordinary happened to Hedzi. He became a devout follower of the Mother Tree of Desire. So wait, the reason... So the reason Lumion is okay after knowing about the Great Old Ones is the angel within him, basically? For Beyonders who progressed by consuming potions, such speed was unimaginable. Unless they possessed profound understanding and were at a remarkably low level. However, Hedzi's boons also came with a downside, that on the Sephra Castle seal. Oh, maybe that too. The recipient would be influenced by the power and gradually deviate from their true self. In certain aspects, they would become increasingly extreme and often engage in acts that seemed irrational to normal people. Both Monsieur Ives' miserliness and Hedzi's insatiable lust fell into this category. Oh, he's not... Monsieur Ives is not a cheapskate naturally. Well, I mean, I'm sure he was kind of a cheapskate naturally, but it just got intensified up to 11. The reason Lumion remained unaffected by the powers of Dancer and Alms Monk was they directly didn't come from the entity known as Inevitability, but rather the corruption within his body, which was filtered through a seal. Dude, both book 1 and 2, Sephra Castle getting no recognition for like the first couple volumes and doing all the heavy lifting is such a goated shit. The Sephra is just like, damn, no one's ever gonna know I do this, but like, I run this bitch, you know? If it wasn't for me, both you and Klein would have died a long time ago. You're welcome, bitches. Additionally, Lumion had always remained maintained a vigilant stance. He not only refrained from altering his style and way of life to exploit the traits of a dancer and alms monk for greater control over his strength, but at times even went against their influence. Furthermore, Lumion would advance in sequence and have a preliminary digestion before obtaining the corresponding boon. He sought to preserve the balance within his body. Lowering his head, Lumion whispered, "How did you discover this?" It is quite evident that the pervert cannot exist without women. Kidnapping a woman every day and dragging her underground isn't exactly feasible. So there must have been like a couple victims. Do those incompetent dogs even goddamn notice? Jenna said. And how does he solve his problem? Clearly, relying on himself isn't sufficient, so I listed Franca's help and inquired about dancers and girls from the mob, and got an answer pretty quick. How can that pervert possess such virility? He can perform multiple times a day. Why doesn't he pursue those wealthy old women? Both parties would be happy. Jenna recounted her investigation with pride, showcasing her intellect. Before embracing the beliefs of the Mother Tree of Desire and receiving the boon, Hedzi was a regular visitor of Rue de la Muraille and others. However, after obtaining the boon, his mind became single-mindedly consumed with the thought of women. With that in mind, Lumi decided to share some information too. That desire must be a result of beyond her powers. Beyond her powers? She had expected him to feign ignorance, just as they did underground, where neither party opened up and acknowledged Hedzi's displayed beyond her powers, but to her surprise, he spoke candidly. After a brief pause, Jenna, who was dancing closely with Lumion, whispered, "What do beyond her powers make him so perverse?" "It's a weird power," Lumion smirked. "Do you think I can't tell that?" Jenna said. "As for why it's abnormal, go back and ask Franca. If she doesn't know either, inquire with the boss." He shared this information with Jenna because he was concerned there may be more to the issue surrounding Monsieur Ives, Susanna Matisse, and Hedzi. If the official Beyonders failed to get an answer, his only hope laid with Mr. K's finger and the Beyonders associated with the Savoy mob. Jenna snorted and dropped the matter, focusing on the dance. As the music neared its end, she reached out and touched Lumion's chest. "Nice bod," she grinned. It seemed as though she had finally exacted her revenge for what happened downstairs. She was filled with elation. Lumion scoffed and left the dance floor, once again picking up his glass of beer. As he listened to the music, his body swayed, all the while observing the situation within a salt grease mill. Reverse the roles and it's weird? Yes. Very much so. As Lumion surveyed the area, his attention was drawn to a group of mobsters, wearing mishmash of outfits surrounding a towering man who stood at nearly 1.9 meters tall, bearing a striking resemblance to the giant Simon. Hammer 8. Lumion averted his gaze, suspecting the man was one of his targets. In Trier, there weren't exactly a lot of people at 1.9 meters tall. Lumion wasn't concerned about Hammer and his subordinates recognizing him. The ballroom was dimly lit, with only the soft glow of gas wall lamps and chandeliers above illuminating, barely enough for dancing and discreet conversation. But Jesus Christ, Kami. Furthermore, Lumion had taken precautions to disguise himself. He hadn't anticipated Jenna recognizing him instantly either. After Jenna finished her song, Hammer led his subordinates off the dance floor and up to the second floor. Lumion continued observing when he spotted a familiar figure enter the room. Monsieur Ives. Is he here for Hedzi? That pervert didn't return in the afternoon. They suspect something happened to him, so they're scouring the dance halls? Lumion withdrew his gaze and shifted his attention back to the dancers. You can do it any... Jesus. No. Based on the characteristics displayed by Hedzi's spirit body, Lumion sensed Monsieur Ives was much weaker, likely possessing the power of a Sequence 9 boon, focused on greed, whereas Hedzi was likely on Sequence 8, with a slim chance of even being a 7. Of course, had Lumion not carefully observed and realized that Hedzi had the ability to trigger others' desires, he may have been dealt with. In that environment, without Jenna, Lumion would have relied on his own strength to resist the influence and not forget the existence of the enemy. With the showy diva, it was difficult for him to restrain himself, and had to rely on pain to awaken his senses. From the corner of his eye, Lumion observed Monsieur Ives engaging in a conversation with a street girl. Is he pretending to negotiate a price to get information about Hedzi? In the end, he's too stingy, always bargaining. Ugh. Charlie was worried that Monsieur Ive, an old widower, wouldn't be willing to spend money on a licensed prostitute and risk contracting a disease. It seems he's overthinking it. Monsieur Ive can't even bring himself to spend money on an unlicensed street gal. What am I reading? If there are women in that group who possess the same boons as Hedzi and on the same level, there should be a constant state of hunger and thirst. Monsieur Ive wouldn't need to seek out another street girl. He would only end up despising himself for being a man. He would be on the verge of being drained with his desires forcibly aroused. The best disguise for those women would be dancers and street girls. Something doesn't add up. If there really were such women, Hedzi wouldn't need to come out and harm others. Could it be that everyone at this level has advanced or died with no replacements? As Lumion contemplated, the band struck up another lively dance tune. After finishing her song, Jenna leapt off the wooden stage once again and approached Lumion, enticing him to dance, eliciting boos from the crowd. Knowing that Jenna had something to say, Lumion maneuvered to provoke the others who were jeering. "What brings a mobster like you to Saul the Grease Mill?" Jenna asked. "Do you think I'm fond of you?" Lumion chuckled. "I'm here to listen to your singing." Your target is Hammer, isn't it? You want to repeat what happened with Margot?" Jenna scoffed. "You're clever. I can assist you and give you some info." "What do you want in return?" Lumion asked. "Are you fucking underestimating me? Although I didn't thank you, I won't forget that you saved me. I'm familiar with all the dance halls in the market district. Moreover, I had a chat with Hammer about some matters after the performance. I should be able to help you." Sorry, give me 2 seconds, guys. I'm just getting a call. Okay, sorry. I should be able to help you. Without waiting for Lumion's response, she continued. Hammer resides in the innermost room of the second floor, towards Auberge de Côte d'Or. He has 10 thugs by his side, 4 at the door, 2 inside and 2 outside. They're all always near him, all always armed. The security wasn't this tight before, and there weren't that many people. It's because of what you did to Margot. That room is an attached washroom, currently unoccupied. If the windows are fully open, it can just about accommodate a person. From the ventilation pipe in the ballroom kitchen, you can climb up to the second floor and bypass the guard stationed at the door. Then enter the adjacent room, leap from the windowsill outside the washroom. It requires considerable skill to pull off, though. Dara reading those French names? Oh. Even easy reading those French names is gonna be... Y'all have fun, boys. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, my French is great or whatever. But, like, having had studied French for a number of years, even if very minorly, gives you, like, some basic understanding of, like, how the language would pronounce certain words, right? Am I pronouncing it right? Probably fucking not. But, like, you have a sense of idea on how certain things would presumably be said. You can at least be pointed in the right direction. But if you don't have any of that, you're just like, I don't know. Salé de Gristmill is a little rough, you know. Upon hearing Jenna's account, Lumion asked, "How do you know all this?" It made sense that Jenna would have a basic understanding of the room layout and stuff, but how did she know the ventilation pipe would lead to the second floor, or jumping from the neighboring windowsill? She shouldn't know such things. Don't fret about what I know. But okay, fuck you, unknown. You think you can do it better? We to it, yeah. Fuck you too, buddy. Don't fret about what I know. I avoid seeing what I shouldn't, hearing what I shouldn't, and asking questions I shouldn't. Only those planning an assassination or devising an escape route would pay attention to such particular things. What category does Jenna fall into? Her powers of observation are nearly on par with a hunter. Assassination? You're an assassin. Jenna's expression changed. How'd you figure it out? Using my brain. She's a demoness. No, she's not a sequence 7, but she's an assassin, which is still funny. There were still a few sequences that excelled at environmental observation. Lumion had taken a bold guess, considering Jenna was an assassin. He recalled Ryan and his companions mentioning that Demoness was a common pathway in Trier. Meanwhile, Lumion pondered, not long after arriving, I encountered an assassin and came to a raid. Would this be seen as convergence? Female Demoness, a rare Pokemon? We have, what we have here is a sequence 9 assassin who's a woman. It's like a shiny, it's like a shiny trainer card. Like, yeah, I guess it's rare, but it's not valuable. It's not valuable, but it is slightly rare. Normally, that doesn't occur. Jenna doesn't have a sequence 7. Jenna hasn't reached sequence 7. She isn't a witch. Otherwise, even if weakened by the sedative on paper, she would have easily been able to overpower Headsy. She is unlikely to even be a sequence 8 instigator. But it isn't out of the question. If you were... No, a sequence 7, a sequence 9 assassin female is... I mean, I wouldn't say it's very valuable. Would you? Why? I will say, this future reality... Okay, what I'm about to say is so gonna get me cancelled. This future reality is very trans-inclusive, you know. Think of the hunter and demoness pathways as like hormone replacement therapy, but like it actually, like, you know, does everything it's supposed to. You become the gender that you want to be all the way. It's very trans-inclusive. Yeah, that's why that's the conservatives would not enjoy this future. But it isn't out of the question. Perhaps Jenna has been more foolish in the past and relied on the instigator path to enhance her intelligence. Jenna's a woman, so there's no need to for her to worry about gender changes. Where did Jenna get the potion, though? Did Franca give it to her? Is Franca also of the demoness path? If Franca's only a sequence 8, that'd be fine. But what if she's a sequence 7 witch? Who knows if Franca was this male or female before? Although you can fight, I believe there's a high chance he'll be killed on the spot if you engage him in a place like the washroom, which isn't spacious enough. Madame, are you persuading me or taunting me? It seems you still possess some potential as an instigator. He realized that Franca knew Hammer better than the Baron. She had mentioned a crucial place that the latter omitted. In another isekai novel, normal. This is the future of the wokey left takes. Exactly. This is what they want, okay? They want your child, your child is confused and they just want to give him a sequence 7 potion immediately. They don't ever want you to talk to they don't ever want you to have a difficult discussion with your child, you know? This is what those lib cucks want. That's what I say. Setting aside the possibility that Franca had a personal grudge against Hammer, Franca either had a formidable background or had earned the trust of the Savoy mob, gaining more access to knowledge and mysticism. You know about instigators? Jenna was taken aback. I know more than you think, Lumion replied. As he spoke, he suddenly recalled a title that belonged to him recently, Mysticism Illiterate. Lumion gently pushed away his melancholy and earnestly considered Jenna's warning. Indeed, while hunters were skilled at combat and killing, if traps and abilities like provocation were excluded, they wouldn't match the prowess of a pugilist in close combat, especially in a confined space. Taking into account the modifications to his dancer abilities and the utilization of unorthodox tactics, Lumion felt he could just about hold his ground. He wouldn't fail immediately, but if he wanted to kill Hammer, he could only rely on Fallen Mercury. I know, Sid. I am well aware. Those damn lib cucks. I'm telling you. Smart choice, Kami. Smart choice. Hold on. But what set this apart from killing Baldy Herman? Lumion assessed his possessions to see if there was anything that could be used in battle. 1700 Verl door, fallen mercury, blood of an aquatic monster, poisonous scales, a vial of sedative, a bottle of stimulating gas, a bottle of liquid with unknown properties, a dagger left behind by that pervert. A plan gradually took shape. Is the washroom spacious? Lumion asked. No, it's not, Jenna said. Besides the bathtub, toilet, and sink, it can only accommodate 4 or 5 people. Oh, got it? No, I don't think so, Devil. I don't think so. I'm gonna swap my screens. In other words, if Lumion and Hammer were to engage in close combat, there wouldn't be any room for anyone else. Is there a curtain outside the bathtub? Yes, Jenna thought. Do you have a gun with you? I believe it's better to use a gun. I don't, Lumion said. Do you intend to carry out the plan tonight? Jenna asked. If you truly want to kill Hammer, I can give you my revolver. You have one on you? He hadn't suspected that Jenna had a revolver. The diva wore a short white blouse with a wide collar that allowed her bra to peek out, her beige fluffy short skirt and black boots that didn't even reach her knees. Moreover, she kept raising her legs as she danced. It seemed impossible for her to have a gun holster strapped to her thigh. Who's your favorite character in book 2 till now? He's dead. It was Aurora, probably. I perform in dance halls and places like the Market District. Do you think everyone is an upstanding citizen? Do you think they won't act impulsively? Those are pieces of filth. When their thoughts are controlled by their desires, they won't consider that I have a connection with Franca and a good relationship with her. While speaking, Jenna followed the rhythm of the drums, crouched down and searched in her boot. While standing up, she pressed herself against Lumion, twisting her body, and slipped her hand into his naturally lowered and swaying palm. Lumion immediately felt the cold metal texture and solid wood. Lumion withdrew his hand and tucked the gun into his pocket. I bought it with most of my savings when I arrived in the Market District before meeting Franca. That black market merchant even tried to bed me, but I kicked his shin. Carrying a gun at all times, quite vigilant. Well done, Lumion said. As the music reached its end, Jenna fell silent. With the drums fading away, Lumion observed Jenna walk towards the stage. Taking the opportunity to visit the washroom, he examined and familiarized himself with the revolver Jenna gave him. It was a compact revolver with a short barrel. Its color was a dark iron black, and its grip was crafted from walnut wood, with 6 bullets. After tinkering with the revolver, Lumion realized a predicament. His shooting ability was lacking. He had relied on the shotgun's wide spray of pellets in the past. Oh well, I don't expect to kill Hammer with a shot. Injuring him will do. At such close range, I can't miss by much. In such an environment, there was only one opportunity for a shot, and Hammer wouldn't provide him with a chance for a second one anyway. Exiting the washroom, he headed towards the kitchen of the salted grease mill, taking advantage of the absence of people in the vicinity. $168. Ah. Old Wiz, the emoji? You have it. All members have it. Hold on, I'm just gonna get water. I'll be back in 2 seconds. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. We got 3 more chapters. Oh wait, let's do one more chess game, if y'all don't mind. Can I know 170? Yeah, sounds good. We'll do 3 more chapters. And now I want to sleep again? Okay, you might... If you just woke up and you're sleepy again, that's not good. It either means you're missing way too much sleep, Kami, or it means for some reason you're just tired as shit. Yeah, that's not a good thing. That's actually a horrifyingly bad thing. But... Here... 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 Or I guess I could also take with this. Let's just go back, because Queen is always looking at him, so if I ever move my Queen, I just cut. It is a simple spell, but quite unbreakable, actually. Not a chess stream, Cal. We're just I was just taking a break from reading. One chess game, and then we're back to do and then we'll go back to the last 3 chapters. A bishop sacrifice? Oh, you mean this for this to open up the rook? Yeah, you could. Here. Here. Hold on. Here he has to take because I got up the ultimate fork. He takes, I take, I guess. Oh wait, I should do this first. Because the threat is here. Huh? Wait. Huh? Wait, what? Wait. Oh no. Okay, bro. I missed that. That was dumb. That was dumb. That's okay. I'm still winning by such a crazy amount, it's all good. Buddy boy, come on. What are we doing here? Dude, he played so bad. Queen A8 probably would have been the best move because it would have pinned his knight to his rook. Oh, here he takes, I take. That would have been really good, MX. I didn't see that. Nah, unknown. I didn't realize. I just needed good music. It didn't occur to me. I just needed good music. All the thought patterns are coming back. This music is all I need. Oh, we're getting back to 1200. We're doing okay. All right, you know what? Fuck CY. We're never reading again. We're streaming chess until I get to 1200 again. This is it. This is all. We're doing this. Okay. As Lumion made his way, his nimbleness served as chess streamer. I can't. As Lumion made his way, his nimbleness served him well in evading servers bustling with trays and busboys returning used utensils. He pressed forward until he reached the kitchen, only to find it in complete disarray. A stack of unwashed utensils lay haphazardly in the sink, coated in layers of greasy oil. The stove emitted fierce yellow flames, turning the small space into a sweltering inferno. 3 chefs, adorned in white aprons, each prepared their own dishes. They would occasionally taste their concoctions by dipping their fingers into the sauce and sampling a morsel, wiping their hands on their aprons and moving on to the next dish. Once the chefs approved, the servers would whisk away the plates, oblivious to the fact that their thumbs often grazed the food in sticks and thick soup. The kitchen helpers scurried around the chefs, chopping vegetables, handling fish, tidying up ingredients, and taking out the trash. They never ceased their efforts. The clamors of the chef and the kitchen helpers filled the air with shouts and curses. Lumion could easily mistake it for a battlefield if he closed his eyes. Taking advantage of the chaotic scene, Lumion deftly navigated through the busy crowd and reached the cabinet brimming with ingredients. Using partitions, handles, and grayish-white gas, he ascended to the ceiling and slipped into the ventilation shaft. The overpowering smell of oil and smoke assailed Lumion's senses, nearly overwhelming him. My fucking fucking ass walking into a party and being instantly hit with fucking a sensory overload. About 10 seconds later, he poked his head out of the second floor washroom. Ensuring the coast was clear, Lumion agilely leapt down and swiftly made his way to the door, scanning both ends of the corridor in secrecy. The area was eerily quiet, only with 2 henchmen guarding the stairs, their sole focus on the first floor, paying no attention to what was behind them. Lumion sighed, pinpointed his target, crouched down and leapt to the adjacent room. Although the door was locked, Lumion encountered no obstacle he couldn't overcome. Utilizing a half-broken wire he brought along, he managed to pry open the wooden door. Just as Jenna had described, the washroom attached to hammers lacked a protruding windowsill. It only had a decorative ledge, barely enough room to stand on. Even for a hunter, leaping from a windowsill to a narrow edge posed a challenge, demanding near-perfect balance. You know who could do that? A clown. Perfect balance. Fortunately, Lumion possessed the extraordinary flexibility of a dancer, almost surpassing human limits. After carefully observing, he approached up and landed precisely on the ledge with his right foot. His left side wavered, threatening to tip him. After squatting down, he revealed only half his head, peering into the room. The washroom door left ajar. Occasionally mobsters passed by. Lumion waited patiently, studying their movements until he noticed a pattern. He seized the opportune gap when the door was momentarily unattended and pried open the windowsill using Hedzy's dagger and went inside. Maintaining composure and confidence, he swiftly closed the glass door before hurrying to the space beneath the bathtub. Lumion, having successfully infiltrated the premise, arranged his few essential items in accessible positions. He took a moment to double-check their locations, ensuring he wouldn't fumble them in a moment of panic. Standing there, motionless, he strained his ears to catch the activities in the adjacent room. Hammer occasionally inquired about their recent earnings to the dance hall manager, scolding his subordinates in anger, or engaged in flirtatious engages with the star dancer. After a while, when the dance hall manager and dancer departed, Hammer seemed to rise from his seat and began pacing. He addressed the mobsters, saying, "In the following days, send all your boys and have them visit every individual within our territory. I want you to ensure that we know who can be elected as the Market District's Member of Parliament in the next coming weeks." I love this. This is such a cool part of the community. You know, you get to learn so much. No matter what anyone says, mid. Have I read it? No. Did I hear about the name 5 minutes ago before you said it? No. Mid. Hey, did you hear about this new novel that came out 46 seconds ago? I think it's mid. My bad. The growth, so you're meddling in the elections now. The growth of Trier's mob was impossible without some form of backing. They either maintained a favorable relation with the police and influential figures within and enjoyed protection from powerful figures, or acted as the black-gloved enforcers and influential merchants. Lumion had never anticipated that the mastermind behind the mob possessed the audacity to vie for a parliamentary seat. Intes functioned as a parliamentary republic where members of parliaments represented various constituencies and formed the National Convention. The National Convention possessed the power to legislate, declare war, and determine the government's budget. At present, the National Convention consisted of over 300 individuals, with 1/10 of them being former nobles. The Sauron family, once part of the royal lineage, served as their leaders. That's me! Batman is the definition of a Mary Sue MC. What is a Mary Sue MC? As free of weaknesses? Batman? What? Then you just haven't read enough Batman. Saying Batman is without flaws is like... what? Trier, where in terms of population and economic prowess stood unrivaled in Intes, had nearly 40 seats in the National Convention. The bad bugs? No. Okay, well, obviously his physical limitations are one thing, but he'll be the Batman constantly talks about like, hey, I'm not who I should be. Like, okay, we're getting so off topic here, but like, I love Batman. Okay, so I'll talk about this forever. Batman is like the first person to say like, Nightwing is the better version of what Batman was supposed to be. He's like, I am supposed to be like darkness and like, you know, fear and whatever. But like, he's like, Batman was also supposed to represent hope for the average person. He's like, which I was fundamentally unable to do. So he's like, Dick Grayson, Nightwing, is like, he's a better version of what I was supposed to be. And I couldn't be that. But Dick can. So like, you're just wrong. You just don't read enough Batman then. Which is punishable by death. Currently, the ruling party, the Popular Enlightenment Party and the Revolutionary Party, seeking to address existing flaws, were vigorously preparing for upcoming National Convention elections. Well, Mary Sue refers to a person without flaws, not a person without, like, not a person who's, like, goated. Like, yeah, of course Batman does crazy shit. Batman has dodged the fucking Omega beams from fucking Darkseid. The Flash can't outrun them. So, yeah, of course. Like, yeah, if you want to say, like, he does things that logically can't happen. Yeah, sure, I'll grant you that. But that's not what Mary Sue refers to, at least according to the Wikipedia. Like, he's like, hold on. Like, watch this. He fucking jumps on Darkseid. The Flash can't outrun those.
Impressive. No one has ever avoided my Omega beam.
No one in history. Like, what are we talking? Superman gets hit by them regularly, and Batman dodges them because he backflipped. Like, come on. Of course. Like, I have no qualms with saying, like, okay, his feats are sometimes just fucking out of this universe. What do you mean? But the mobsters replied, assuring Hammer that nothing would go awry. However, they remained tight-lipped about which faction or candidate they supported. Tell me, damn it. After waiting for a while, Hammer then said leave for a while, return only when I summon you. This plan. Soon enough, the mobsters vacated the room, leaving Hammer alone. Lumen refrained from taking immediate action. After carefully analyzing, he believed the confrontation between him and Hammer in the washroom would be more targeted than engaging outside. The room fell silent. It seemed like Hammer was muttering to himself. Protector of evil people, the lady who births deities? Births deities? That sounds impressive. Is Hammer praying? They're about 4 or 5 sentences. It's a bit more of a description. It deviates from the usual 3-stanza template. As for who he was praying to, Lumen had no idea. It was beyond the scope of his current knowledge. Lumen felt a vague sense of malevolence emanating from the room. Indeed, it was as if the room itself had turned wicked. Lumen composed himself and held his breath. After a while, the atmosphere dissipated and everything returned to normal. Lumen exhaled slowly, heating up his palm. At that moment, Hammer summoned his subordinates, who had left the room to return. Lumen continued to bide his time. Seconds turned into minutes, until he heard the heaviest footsteps approaching the washroom, belonging to Hammer. Swiftly, he released a metal canister marked with a symbol. Unscrewing the cap, he inserted a thin, pre-kneaded paper ball into the bottle. Seconds later, the footsteps drew closer. Lumen retrieved the paper ball and twisted the cap shut. He tore the paper ball in two and inserted each piece into his nostril. The stench, reminiscent of fermented excrement, assaulted Lumen's senses, nearly bringing him to tears. He wanted to remove the paper ball. Birthing deities? What the fuck? Jesus. With great resolve and endurance of alms monks accustomed to extreme environments, Lumen exercised control. He stood there, retrieving another metal canister, unscrewing its cap. Hammer shut the washroom door and approached the toilet bowl. The space, now enclosed, only the gaps between the door and windows allowed a hint of fresh air to seep in. Lumen observed the fluctuation in the target's luck, tossing the metal canister into the air, allowing the colorless and odorless gas to disperse and fill the room. The sedative concocted by Headsey. Even catching a whiff of it would severely weaken the individual. It was ideal for trapped enclosed spaces. A trap Lumion had set for Hammer. Bug, how's it going, man? What Lumion needed to do next was prevent Hammer from leaving the washroom or allow anyone outside to open the door. He placed the metal canister by the edge of the bathtub and retrieved Jenna's revolver, aiming it at the toilet bowl through the curtain. $169. Nice. Battle in the room. In the room? The bathroom? Thanks, Kami. This is new. The rush of water persisted, and Lumion grew anxious, feeling that Hammer might notice the distance and might sense the danger. He needed to calculate the height just right before pulling the trigger. Bang! The bullet tore through the drapes. Hammer's hair stood on end before any of this happened. He paid no mind to the fact that he was midstream and collapsed to the side. Precognition? Yellowish liquid splattered in all directions. The bullet grazed Hammer's arm, striking the wall and nearly missing Lumion on the rebound. Lumion's revolver flew from his grip after the missed shot. He seized the edges of the curtain, yanked it off, and used it to ensnare Hammer. Before Hammer could recover from his agonizing cramps, darkness enveloped his vision and found himself in a cream-colored shower curtain. Unfazed, he rolled and concealed himself beside the bathtub. He then grasped the shower curtain with both hands, using it as an improvised weapon. With a soft whoosh, the curtain, now wrapped around Lumion's fist, veered off course, thwarting his attempt to strike at Hammer. Hammer seized the moment and arose, inadvertently tearing his pants. He swung his fist at Lumion, hammer-like. Lumion raised his arm to shield himself, realizing that the opponent possessed exceptional strength. He couldn't withstand it. Forced to retreat a step to regain his balance, Lumion found himself on the back foot. Hammer wasted no time bombarding him with a flurry of punches. Leveraging his height, long arms, and strength, Hammer employed straightforward punches akin to cannonballs. He's reminding me of Garp from One Piece. It was only then that he could clearly discern the assailant's visage. Golden hair tinged with black, bright light blue eyes. Nostrils stuffed. Ciel? The one who killed Margot? He isn't that formidable, I can take him down. The washroom proved confining. With Lumion enduring the putrid stench, he suffered 2 blows from the towering giant. At that moment, the monsters outside heard the gunshots and approached. One of them gripped the handle and pushed the door. Lumion fighting a guy with his pants down. He's like, caught you with your pants down, literally. Realizing they couldn't breach the door, the mobsters drew their revolvers and aimed at the door, but didn't dare fire. Capitalizing on his kick against the door, Lumion contorted his body, evading Hammer's punch and positioning himself beside his adversary. Delivering a series of rapid punches, strikes, elbows, knees, kicks, everything, Lumion sought to disrupt the enemy's assault. It resembled a pugilist, the kind who habitually expelled force with but now only capable of what the fuck are we even saying here? Each time Hammer tried to strike with force, Lumion took the initiative and blocked him. After altering his combat strategy, Lumion managed to narrow the strength gap between them. Not only did he regain some control, he also utilized his greater agility to shift his body and change positions. Fearing that Lumion possessed some kind of powers, Hammer believed that using the threat of a revolver would expedite the process of dispatching his enemy. Lumion faced the relentless onslaught of the pugilist's full-powered assaults without any signs of slowing down. Throughout the ordeal, Hammer's eyes darted to his surroundings, wary of potential traps or allies. His gaze swept across the edge of the bathtub and landed on an open canister. What purpose does it serve? Before he could think further, Lumien's smile appeared. "Useless piece of junk, what are you waiting for? Come in here and help me!" A buzzing anger surged within Hammer. He discarded all other concerns and launched an attack. Provocation. Lumien had added provocation to those sentences. Confronted with the raging Hammer and his blows, Lumien fought desperately to hold his ground, and relied on the flexibility of a dancer to shift positions. This allowed the washroom door to open, but the mobsters outside hesitated, fearing they may collide with the Hammer if they kicked it. They pushed it inwardly, inch by inch. In that moment, Lumien, overcome by the putrid odor, keenly sensed 8's waning strength and slower punches, the sedatives taking effect. Lumien slowly dodged to the side, regaining his balance, and threw a powerful punch, channeling all his strength. 8's arm, which blocked the blow, trembled. Why? Why have I grown so weak? Why am I so slow? As Lumien grasped the state of his opponent, he unleashed 2 consecutive punches. Without hesitation, he closed the distance and adjusted his body. With a swift motion, he drove his left elbow into Hammer's chest. Caught off guard, Hammer failed to react in time, unable to dodge, cracking his sternum. His vision darkened, and he struggled to catch his breath. Lumien didn't grant him a moment of respite, and smoothly shifted his body, allowing his poised right fist to collide with 8's abdomen. He didn't harbor any lofty expectations of rendering 8 unconscious slowly on the sedative. After all, the other party possessed the ability to resist the effects of beyond their powers through sheer fortitude, suggesting a high resistance to sedatives. Lumien aimed to exploit the drug's influence to weaken 8's combat prowess, slowing him down. In doing so, the tide of victory would tip to him. As Hammer reeled from the blow, instinctively curling up, becoming shorter than Lumien, Lumien raised his fist and hammered them behind 8's ears. Amidst the cacophony, 8's vision darkened and he slumped unconscious. It was the combined strength of a potent strike and the sedative. Lumien squatted down, using Hammer as a shield. The mobsters, I fucking hate the word mobster because I'm so used to reading monster in the story. Mobster is like one letter away and it just keeps fucking me up. The mobsters had already held the washroom door open for a few seconds, but with 8 obstructing Lumien from their view, they refrained from open firing. Now, they witnessed their towering boss being taken down. Lumien clasped Hammer and offered a smirk. "Go ahead, fire, why aren't you?" They caught sight of the assailant's distinctive blonde and black hair, coupled with a handsome face. "You're CL? The one who killed Margot and threw Wilson off the 4th floor? He's back?" Lumien keenly sensed the mobster's profound fear, grinned, and gave Hammer's shoulder a friendly pat. Then he took a hold of Hammer and proceeded towards the washroom door, one step at a time, and smiled. "You've got 2 options. Leave this room now and seek help from your mob bosses. 2. Meet your demise at my hands." They couldn't help but tremble. Regardless, Hammer had been apprehended. If we will open fire, we'll only harm him. It's better to get help. "Well?" Lumien asked. They all fled the room immediately. When no one remained, Lumien let out a sigh. If all those men truly steeled their resolve, the confined space of the washroom and their firearms would have posed a lethal threat. Of course, Hammer would also die. They have no more than 4 minutes to reach Avenue de Marche from here. I must conclude the interrogation before Roger and his comrades depart, granting me time to escape. Just 4 minutes. He then dislocated the captive's shoulder joints and bound his legs together using the shower curtain. Opening the window, he allowed the breeze to circulate. With these tasks complete, Lumien removed the paper balls from his nose, retrieved the metal canister with a pungent smell, and held it to 8's nostril. 8 sneezed and his eyes fluttered open. "What do you want?" he asked. Lumien's gonna kill him, right? He should. Fuck him. "Plague, how's it going?" Okay, see, that was a good fight. That was a good fight. I enjoyed that. Lumion brandished Hetsy's dagger, smiling. I've got a question. You could have come to me. No need for all this. Hammer tried to stall for time. He scanned the room, but there were no lifeless bodies to be found. Based on his combat with CL, he knew it was impossible for the other party to eliminate 10 men without a single one escaping. In fact, even Hammer himself wouldn't dare to face the encirclement of 10 revolvers in such a confined space. If Hammer with his abilities couldn't do it, there's no way CL could. Given the circumstance, Hammer assumed most of his subordinates had fled, while a few might have sought assistance from Roger. With this realization, a strong desire to survive surged within Hammer. If I don't anger CL, I can buy myself 6 or 7 minutes, then I'll be saved. If I hadn't done this, how else could I have crossed paths with you, considering my relationship with your mob? Enough of the games. You know I'm not a patient person. If you die, if you refuse or lie, I will kill you here. I can always ask Herman later. If he didn't make Hammer believe he had a fighting chance, prying answers from him quickly wouldn't be possible. Okay, Hammer said. He resolved to divulge some information, hoping to hold out. Lumion about 3 minutes. Lumion counted silently in his head. Have you encountered Louis Lund? 8 hesitated, and Lumion swung his dagger, piercing 8's shoulder instantly. Fear gripped Hammer's heart. Yes, I wanted posters for Louis can be found in Saul the Grease Mill. I laid eyes on him at the boss's hideout. I recognized him. Hammer realized he couldn't rely on silence and hesitation. Lying was also risky, since he didn't know which answers CL was using as an honesty test, as expected. Having confirmed the connection between Louis Lund and the Poison Spur mob, Lumion felt he had achieved his objective for the operation. The remaining questions were just bonus. It'd be nice to get an answer, but not a deal breaker. Why did he go to Roger? I don't know, but I heard that the lady Louis is loyal to has arrived in Trier, and she wants our mob and our respective sphere of influence to coordinate efforts and avoid conflict. Our boss, with the approval of Madame Moon, took charge of the liaison. Madame Moon? Madame Moon is one of the mob's people the mob swears loyalty to. Well, our boss is not a madame anymore, but a lady who births deities. We often pray to her. I haven't seen her myself, only the boss and Baldy have. Not Madame Moon to lady who births deities? What's the relationship between Madame Moon and Madame Night? They belong to the same organization called Night Stalker. Madame Moon appears to be the leader, or at least a significant figure at the leadership level. Why am I dropping frames? What the fuck? Hold on. Lady who births deities, lady who makes my internet shit itself. Fuck you. I think we're okay now, I think. Give it a couple seconds. Yep, I will, Chris. An organization that believes in some hidden existence? Will Louis Lund visit Roger again? He'll likely come back next week to check if everyone has followed through on their agreement or if any adjustments need to be made. I don't know when. What kind of power does Roger have? He's a heretic spellmaster, Hammer said. Our boss said it himself. The essence of a heretic spellmaster is using their life force to cast spells. It can be their own life force or someone else's, but it seems to need to be controlled beforehand. Heretic Spellmaster. I know what sequence this is, but I don't know. I've heard this sequence before, but I don't know what sequence it is. Okay. So he is a heretic spellmaster. Observing Lumen's lack of surprise, Hammer felt a relief for not lying. I've seen him use a few spells. One is a peculiar one, another involves manipulating blood, and a black flame that weakens people. There's at least one more, the ability to create a turf filled with undead creatures, allowing him to share damage and mysteriously teleport. Our boss also mentioned that if we perform well, we may get more boons, and I may become a sower. Having said that, Hammer regretted his decision to not choose a boon back then and instead opt for a potion. It caused his progress to be hindered by the need for ingredients. The hope of reaching Sequence 7 seemed distant. As long as one contributed enough and their body could withstand it, you could always get more boons. A sower? A symbol of abundance and life? I don't know what comes after a sower. All I know is Wilson is a villain, equivalent to a Sequence 9. Harmon is a gardener, and his strength is similar to mine. But he possesses intensive knowledge of botany. He can create potions with magical effects. He even has a potion that hardens the skin like tree bark briefly. I tried slashing him, but he only suffered minor injuries. He also has the ability to treat illnesses and injuries. The heretic spellmaster requires being a gardener. No wonder the midwife used those giant scissors as weapons. Unfortunately, even with this, if I assassinated Baldy without giving him time to react, he wouldn't have time to shield his body. Intelligence is so valuable. Harmon once mentioned that the spiritual monster born from trees and flowers have become truly frightened when they see him, since he is a gardener and responsible for their pruning. Our boss mentioned that among the unrecognized paramount beings, only 3 can bestow godhood without much difficulty. One is the Great Mother of our fate, another has desire and tree in her name. And the third one appears to be a mysterious fog. As for all the other beings, if they wish to grant godhood, they have to perform a very complex ritual that would easily be discovered and destroyed. A mysterious fog that has to be... thing. Lord of Mysteries, I guess. Sephira Castle. Mother Tree of Desire. But then the Great Mother of our faith, wouldn't it be God Almighty? What the fuck is this? Who the fuck is the Great Mother of your faith? Mother Tree of Desire? What sets them apart from the being named Inevitability? Why can they bestow godhood without needing extensive ritual? Who is the candidate for parliament you support? It's Hughes Artois from the Enlightenment Party. Hammer's anticipation grew. He knew time had passed. If those rascals hurry, they'll meet Roger. Hammer, who was waiting for Lumion to ask about the mob's recent plans, saw the other party raise his right hand and swing his dagger. With a soft sound, the dagger pierced Hammer's temples and stirred them. Hammer's mouth hung open, his eyes desperate. With a thud, he collapsed, no longer breathing. Lumion left the dagger lodged in Hammer's head and bandaged his wounds. He then stowed away his belongings, shouldered the lifeless body, and pushed open the room window before leaping down. Since it was only the second floor, his landing was steady and broke into a run. Instead of taking the most direct route, Lumion opted for a detour through Road de Rossignol, making his way to Avenue de Marche. The late-night atmosphere had offered scarce street lamps casting a pitch-black darkness. It took Lumion over 2 minutes to carry Hammer's corpse to the entrance of Salle de Brie. The mobsters guarding the entrance were about to stop him when they recognized Ciel. They allowed him to enter. The second-floor cafe, Louis approached the Baron, carrying a stack of papers, a revolver, a bayonet, and a bag of bullets. "Baron, I have everything prepared for Ciel." The Baron nodded. "Send it to him in the morning." After issuing the instructions, the Baron spoke. "I wonder what kind of performance he will stage when he makes his move. You think he'll choose Hammer, Harmon, or the Candlestick?" Before the Baron could even finish his sentence, the sound of approaching footsteps interrupted. A mobster said, "Ciel, he's carrying someone, or a corpse." At that moment, Lumion emerged. "That is?" the Baron asked, looking at the lifeless body behind Ciel. Lumion tossed the corpse on the ground. "Hammer." Damn, that's good. Okay, can we read one more? Because I really want to see what their reaction is going to be to this. Can we do one more? 171? Let's just do 171. Okay, these chapters were fun. Like, what we read today was fun. This was fun. Good fights. With a resounding thud, the body crashed to the ground, sending a shockwave through the hearts of Baron, Louis, and the others. The Baron rose to his feet, beheld the corpse at Lumion's feet, and took in the face. It was none other than Hammer. Louis' eyes widened in disbelief. The Baron, who had entrusted Ciel right after dinner, and the hour had not even struck 10. What's more, Ciel managed to accomplish the mission before they could even deliver the intel and weaponry he needed. And Hammer was a true Beyonder, even surpassing Wilson in strength. He wasn't as vulnerable as Margot, always surrounded by a retinue of followers. Yet he failed to survive even 3 hours. Even if the Baron had personally taken action, it wouldn't have been this effortless. Louis shifted his gaze from the body to Ciel. Only now did he perceive the true nature of this monster. It seemed understandable that Margot had fallen prey to him due to his carelessness. Wilson's defeat could be explained by his own feebleness. But Hammer was a Beyonder with prowess not inferior to the Baron, and always on high alert. Yet Ciel dispatched him in a matter of hours. My goat. Just how formidable was he? What were his limits? Is he stronger than the Baron? A cascade of questions raced through Louis' mind. The other thugs shared the same unease. The Baron shifted his gaze between the Hammer and Lumion's visage, searching for any trace of deceit. Had Lumion effortlessly completed the mission that the Baron himself would consider challenging? If Hammer was so easily dispatched, why had the mob who had long sought to punish the traitor allowed him to live? This guy is even more terrifying than I thought. There's more to him than meets the eye. Does anyone know you've taken him down? Quite a few, Lumion replied. The Baron's countenance underwent a dramatic shift, losing his refined and confident air. In that moment, all he wanted was to unleash a torrent of curses upon Lumion. Is your fucking brain filled with shit? So many people are aware you killed him, yet you bring him over to me? Do you think they won't inform Roger? Do you think he won't storm in here for revenge? Do you think I can stop Roger? God damn it. Seizing the opportunity presented by the Baron's subdued breathing, Lumion smiled. Hammer's subordinates must have found Roger by now. Only you, Baron, can offer me the protection I need. Weren't you anticipating retaliation from the mob? That's why you sent me down, right? The bitterness filled the Baron's heart. For a brief moment, he couldn't bring himself to order Lumion to leave. He had to make plans to prepare. He was confident that he would remain unscathed. Wouldn't it be fortuitous if Giant Simon and Rat Christo met their end? But the predicament lay in the fact that he didn't have enough time to implement his plans or set them into motion. His intent was to dispatch intelligence and weaponry tomorrow morning. Only then would he decide the course of action. Nonetheless, eliminating leaders of the mob was no easy feat. It would take days. Yet Lumion, that lunatic, sought out Hammer without delay after accepting the mission. He wasted no time, conducted no reconnaissance, made no arrangements, and didn't wait for a moment at all. Is he even fucking human? This caught him off guard. If Roger were to strike, he might die alongside Hammer. Dude, I love how the Baron went from, dude, Roger might kill me too. Dude, if Roger walks in here, he might die. I'm not gonna do it, mind you. I can't do shit, but that guy might die. This guy's crazy. And the Baron observing the Baron's silence, Lumion chuckled inwardly. He had brought Hammer's body to Saul de Baubrey and presented it to the Baron, not to boast or intimidate. His intention was to draw Scorpion and the other formidable members to them. If the Baron were to fall, a new opportunity would arise. A replacement with sufficient strength would be needed. When the time came, CL, who could fight, contribute, and had aided Red Boot's lover, would undoubtedly be the most sought-after candidate. Lumion, who wasn't overly concerned about whether Roger would kill him. Mr. K's finger was in his pocket. Mr. K probably wouldn't mind if I repurposed the finger. After all, I'm doing it to fulfill this mission, Lumion thought. Regardless, the threat from Susanna Matisse wouldn't come anytime soon. He could figure out an alternative approach later. Perhaps Mr. K would give him another finger once he saw how quickly Lumion finished this mission. The Baron's expression underwent several changes. He pushed back a chair and sat down. He pushed back his chair and hurried towards the iron color mechanical safe at the bar counter. He turned the knob and entered the password. What was the Baron trying to get? Is he trying to get cash and run away? Or some sealed artifacts? The Baron opened the safe and retrieved 2 bundles of detonators. Setting a trap to explode Roger? Not challenging. He's a heretic spellmaster. Lumion refrained from inquiring. The leaders of the mob placed the bundles of detonators on the windowsill, then lit a match. Subsequently, he ignited one of the bundles and glanced at the dimly lit Avenue de Marche, tossing the explosives in the middle of the road. Louis and the others stood in bewilderment, unable to comprehend what had just happened. Lumion's thoughts raced and he understood. He couldn't help but inwardly applaud. Very clever. The bundle of detonators exploded in the middle of Avenue de Marche, causing the surrounding glass to rattle. A few pedestrians on the roadside startled and fell to the ground, sustaining minor injuries. The Baron glanced over, lit another bundle of detonators, hurled it onto the deserted road, causing casualties. Would be troublesome after all. He didn't want that attention from the authorities. The explosives reverberated again. Police headquarters on Avenue de Marche, the EBS Cathedral, and God of Steam Machinery responded. Saul de Baubrey and the occupants of the nearby buildings were thrown into disarray. Is he basically getting the official investigators and police and beyonders here so that Roger has no choice but to stay put for the moment and then he has time to, ready himself, I guess? That's what I'm getting. The Baron clasped his hands and returned to the table and sat down. It's okay now, he said. This would undoubtedly unsettle the police and clergymen. Some of them would undoubtedly investigate. There was a good chance that official beyonders would be among them. So how could Roger dare launch an attack now? They couldn't risk assuming that no official beyonders would care. After all, if they lost that bet, they'd be fucked. Lumion hadn't expected the Baron to find a way to elude Roger for now. Clever. True to the reputation of the mob's brain, the Baron displayed remarkable responsiveness and quick thinking, surpassing even Hammer. Lumion clicked his tongue in acknowledgement, paying no mind to Hammer's body. He then smiled at the Baron. I made a wise choice to seek refuge here. Fingerman? Maybe. Is Mr. K Sukuna in that scenario, I guess? The Baron nearly choked. His saliva, good lord, what is happening to me, catching in his throat. Had it not been for his exceptional intellect, he might have been ensnared. Slowly exhaling, the Baron cast his glance at the corpse in front, drag it to a private room and conceal it. The authorities will come soon. Mr. K got infinite fingers, so he's stronger than Sukuna? Yeah, but each of Sukuna's fingers is worth like infinite Mr. K's, so I doubt it. Mr. K is like a sequence 6 or some bullshit tops. Sukuna would beat his ass. Mr. K does not solo. I don't know what sequence he is, but he gets cooked. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll end it there. If you guys are interested, we'll be streaming our playthrough of The Forest, I think, in like 5 or 6 hours. So I'll stream that. If y'all are interested, pop by. We'll go from there. But other than that, good stream, good shit. Today's stream was fun. I enjoyed. Good chapters. Yeah. Alright, boys. I'll catch y'all later.